Hey folks, Scott here. I wanted to share with you. I picked up one of these ruby red Kramers for $149 from Long and McQuaid. The jack didn't work and it had a big chunk out of the back. And so I got it cheap. I want to tell you what I had to do to make it really nice. First, I tightened up the tremolo springs because they were too loose. And then I spent 4.5, close to 5 hours setting it up patiently, adjusting all the string heights, and doing the intonation so it's all perfect, just the way I like it, matching the radius of the guitar. And I tweaked the truss rod like a little more than a quarter turn, which gave me a really nice relief because the neck was totally straight. And then I raised all the pickups as close as I could get, because there's a difference between this humbucker and these sudden drop in volume, which is not very good. It does come with these fancy knobs, which I look better on a cheap guitar, I guess. And I fixed the jack. That was really easy. And what else did I do? Well, the intonation was the most time-consuming thing. But once it was all pretty much perfect, like I really like this guitar. I like the way the nut's done. The only sort of thing I would change, I was going to get it to mod it up, but those tuners are not that great. I mean, it stays in tune, but you're constantly kind of fiddling with it. And I had to make the tremolo tighter so that it would always come back flat onto the body. And the other trick, otherwise it goes out of tune. The other trick is if it does go out of tune while you're whammying, you just give it a hard jerk back to the whammy bar and it puts it back in tune. And the switch seems pretty good, pretty tight, but the sound is incredible, and the way it's playing right now, it's exactly the way I like it. And the only thing I think I would change, because of this volume difference, which I got rid of most of it by raising up the pickups, but you can only go so far. This pickup's actually pretty good. It's pretty hot. And these two, I probably put a couple pickups in here, and then some Grovers for the tuners, like I did with this J Tercer that I souped up. I only paid $60 for this guitar. Turned it into an art guitar, and it's got 3 14K vintage Fenders, hot classics on it, new switching system, and this guitar I love because it has such a nice vintage neck. You can hardly tell the difference between like a 50s, 60s neck there, and it sounds great. And a lot of people ask me, like, how do you get that sound? Well, you just get a cheap guitar. I like the sound of the wood. It had a good tone, and so I bought it for $60 and souped it up. I think I probably paid, in the end, about $410 for a really solid guitar. And this here, for $149, $60 for some Grovers, and then replace these two pups here. I'm probably looking at like maybe another $160. So for $300, you've got yourself a ruby red hot super strat. Anyways, I'm kind of new at YouTube, so I'm gonna do videos on all my guitars, what I've done to them. I trained with a fairly well-known guitar fixer guy back in the 80s. His name was Miles. The company was Fretworks, and did 9 months on a government grant. There's probably a lot of musicians out there who remember Miles, especially if they came through Calgary. But yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. It's mahogany body, which is unusual. I've got a Go down here that's a mahogany body. it does something to the tone. And this maple neck is like a solid piece of maple. It's carved out of one piece. There's no joint here like with some of the cheap Ibanez's, you know. There's a few cheap things. I mean, black dots instead of anything perloid. But I just can't put it down now that I got it all set up. It was, it's not even tedious for me. I just love doing it. You know, to get these things perfect. So I don't know how much it would cost you in a shop to do what I did, since it was close to 5 hours of fiddling with it. But wow, what a different guitar it is now. And oh, sweet Jesus, if Lou Reed got converted. Anyways, bye for now. If you like, subscribe.